RTD Live Talk, trying it again this evening. So apologize for the disruptions, but it is what it is. Give it a second, see who else is available and want to check in this evening. Still want to find out what's on your mind tonight. So as always, I got the phone lines open. And so definitely you guys can give me a call, 313-462-0027 if you like. So you can let your voice be heard. Still going to try to do the best we can, despite everything else. So how's everybody doing? So we got Spirit, Jen, Ronnie, Scott is telling me that I probably have to just do it from the phone more often, I'm assuming. So with that being the case, just keep it moving. What's going on this evening? It definitely just throws a little hiccup in the whole flow of things. Like now I'm feeling like, yeah, it just doesn't help my situation at all. But it is what it is, man. Let's talk. What's going on out here? I got to find where's the camera at. It's down here. Oh, it's up there. All right. Making sure my camera's up. So hopefully there's no lag here. So clearly, because right now I'm on Wi-Fi. So if I'm on Wi-Fi, which I'm on the Ethernet cord for the computer. So something is up. So my computer is not on Wi-Fi. No, I'm on connected directly to the modem and whatnot. But I did see something about Powell. And to be honest with you, today has been a very busy day. So I didn't have a chance to even dive into it, man. I apologize. So definitely I'm gonna need somebody to get me up to speed. And so Ronnie, I did not hear what Jerome Powell said. I wish I did, but today has just been one of them days. So anybody want to chime in, let me know what was said, or we can walk through it real quickly as I put my computer on and try to get caught up. Or what I would like to, I think would be easier if anybody's out there who's willing to call in and give us all the update. 313-462-0027 and let us know directly. Or I can just pull up on the computer and figure out what he said. But once again, low blood pressure. I tried earlier. Good evening. Luke, how you doing, my friend? Craig, appreciate you guys tuning in. I attempted to do it again for my computer, but it didn't work. So got to do the next best thing and grab the phone. It says gold has bottom based on the Fed's forward guidance move, or what's that? Pat. Gold is bottom. He literally confirmed the yield curve inversion. Really? What can you tell us about Basel III? Luke, about Basel III, I mentioned a little bit last night, but of course, a lot of people in the alternative media space are talking about the Basel III, but without, really knowing the in-depth of it, it basically replaces or basically puts gold back where it should be. It basically categorizes it as an asset class, one-to-one with cash and bonds and everything else. And banks are encouraged to keep it on reserves for capital reasons in case of them needing to shore up any type of runs or to mitigate risk on their end. They need some more reserves. So basically, they're making gold a reserve again for the banking sector, which ultimately lets us know where they're positioning, what they're positioning themselves for, which is some type of hiccup. And so they're all basically getting their weight up. So definitely, if central banks or commercial banks are encouraged to get their weight up, I imagine you guys know what you should be doing as well. Write the number here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to put the number beneath the, all right. So somebody picked it up. All right, let's try this. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Howard. I'm calling from Detroit.
Howard from Detroit. How you doing, my friend? What's on your mind this evening?
Just a question about like basic metals. I mean, what do you think about people that, as well as they stack silver and gold, copper pennies and nickels? I just want to know what you think of that as far as like people putting that type of stuff away.
Okay, so including base metals as far as coinage, along with the precious metals, is what your question is about, basically, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I definitely, my opinion is that anything not paper-based, I love to refer to a periodic table. So basically, any element, any chemical composition element that's on a periodic table will have value, in my opinion, in the long run, especially if it's a metal of any kind that is utilized for something of value. So coins, nickels, so what nickel, tin, and something else make up a nickel. And of course, copper and whatever else they've diluted with now will all have value because they're used not only for coins in that regards there, but they're also used in commercial use as well. So Copper, of course, we know is the third tier of a precious metal in a sense, but it's just, it takes a lot much more copper to store to retain the same relative value as you could in a coin or a stack of a 20 ounces of silver as opposed to say a half of ounce of a gold bar. So it's just it's just relative of weight. So definitely they're of value because they're on a periodic table, and it's just a matter of you'll have to have a lot more of that to reserve some purchasing power as opposed to a gold ounce if you was trying to preserve more money rather.
Right.
But definitely it's of weight, and it's at the end of the day it comes from the earth, so it's of value in my opinion.
Okay.
So definitely you can't go wrong for having that in your possession as well, I believe.
Okay.
Good question, my friend.
I like that answer.
Howard, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you.
You have a good night.
All right, have a good one. Yeah, man. Good question. Good question. I appreciate that. Make sure I got rid of that one. Yeah, so good call, Howard. I appreciate that, fellow Detrader. It says go for the gold. Hey, chat. Ryan James. Yeah, go for the gold. And at the end of the day, it's more so whatever you're in position to be able to acquire. Because some people, I was listening to a commentator earlier mention that it'll be difficult for most people to actually go out and buy an ounce. But nowadays, it's easier to get gold, and it's a much easier to get gold, a lot easier than most people think. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hold on one sec. Let me get you. Let me put you on speakerphone. Where's the speaker at? 1 sec. Let me speaker off. I want speaker on. Yeah. All right. Hello.
This is Pat calling.
Hey, Pat. How you doing? What's in your mind this evening?
Not too bad. Did you see Minico's or Mario's video, which he did call the BIS in Switzerland and specifically asked them about any changes taking place in gold rules regulations on March 29th? And they clearly stated that there were no changes. This is directly a recorded phone call with the BIS.
No, so I did not. I was not aware of that, and so I'm curious to find out. So he called and they said there will be no changes, and so
Yes.
And so basically hinting at the whole idea that gold hasn't changed in their opinion according to what they told him.
There is a program that's been taking place that will continue to take place until 2024. I think it started in 2016 or something like that. But nothing specific as regards to gold will be changing on March 29th.
Okay.
That's what they said.
Yeah, so that's what they said
in the phone call.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I wasn't aware of Mario having spoke with anybody from BIS, but if they told him that, I would be, so here's a question. Would you take their word for it? And so I personally wouldn't.
I know what you're saying. I mean, you're talking with the evil of evil there. So, but the bottom line is that I think it's important to know that he did make the phone call. He recorded the phone call and he put it out on YouTube.
Yeah, so that's definitely. I need to pay attention. I need to watch that. So I definitely want to hear that. So, but that's very surprising that. And so I wonder what if they would have said, yes, gold has changed now. It's officially money. So thanks for calling. What do you expect from as you mentioned, the central bank of central banks? So definitely I'm going to check that out. But I appreciate you, Pat, for sharing that with us.
Today, Jerome Powell stated that they will not be raising interest rates in this year. He said clearly, no room for wiggle. He said they are done raising rates for 2019.
Really? So that right there. So I appreciate you sharing that with me because I didn't have a chance to watch any of that. So they're not raising rates. So that's very telling to me of where we really are. And so why not raise rates if we are still in that expansion and the economy is growing and you're going to need that wiggle room for the next recession. So by them not moving the rates up or not adjusting things lets me know that they are probably going to need to make some adjustments soon, but in the opposite direction. What do you think?
He also stated that he has downgraded the projection for GDP growth, and it was the last question. He did acknowledge that the yield curve has inverted.
Okay.
So that's the first time he's acknowledged that it has inverted. Okay,
yeah.
so there's a whole lot of stuff going on, but in my mind, I think we've just seen the bottom in gold, solid as solid can be.
Yeah, I would hope that, given that from what I've gathered from you, there was 3 pieces of news that's not necessarily market friendly or good news overall. So I believe that he's basically saying that the market, the globe is slowing down. He's basically validating that the globe monetary economy or the monetary system around the world or economy is definitely slowing. And so I'm not surprised at all, but yet I'm glad he was truthful. So it looks like he's probably the first central banker that's actually telling the truth as to why things are what they are, to where he needs to make adjustments. They're not raising hikes, not raising the interest rates rather, and the other one there. So yeah, man, that's very telling of where we're headed. And it's still the first quarter of the year, as I mentioned in the video I did earlier. So brace for a crash. Go ahead.
Well, bottom line is that by committing to not raising rates this year, they pretty much, we've got 3/4 of the year left, and they've just shot all their ammunition at one time.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing in the bag of tricks left that I could possibly dream of. So this really is. Well, we got a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're aware that the central bankers love astrology and crap, and you got the full moon, and you got the spring equinox taking place today. I mean, so if there's going to be a shift, and they're going to do the same thing that they've done for dozens and dozens of years, and use this astrology and numerology bull crap on there. Today was probably a pretty big day.
Yeah, it is, man. And so, man, once again, I think all that information, the fact that, usually when the Fed chair people give the Fed speech is usually optimistic and positive, and they're forced to speak in high, what's it called? I forgot whatever word they use, but they beat the truth. They go all the way around the truth or whatever, just giving you some fluff words. But it sounds as if he was more open and honest with what's really going on. Probably didn't explain the full extent of how bad it is, but as we're seeing all these stuff happening around the world, all these corporations talking about slowdown. So definitely, we're probably in for something very shocking come middle to end of this year, I would imagine. So. But hey, Pat, man, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts. Thanks for keeping us up to date, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, man. So yeah, just from that brief update there, that's very, very, very alarming. Would anybody agree or what? That's the truth there. And so feel free to call in, talk amongst yourself in the chat. I'm trying to bring the stream up so I can put some information beneath this video. And then we can keep it moving. What else you guys said? Not only silver, I'm way behind the chat. So once again, we're on the phone because I attempted to stream live from the computer, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out that way. So you do the next best thing. You stream from your phone. It's not ideal, but I got to make some adjustments on my end clearly. But I'll take care of that. It's just a matter of time. Let me update the video on my side here, and then we can keep moving. So I can give people the number to call in. 313-462-0027. So I'm just updating. Give me a call at 313-462-0027. All right, so There should be some information beneath this video for those that want to call in, but let's check back in on the chat. Let me get caught up on what's going on here. $1,500 silver. I wish. Energy boom for the United States. Major oil finds on the way. We could definitely use that. You're getting it in your hand. Don't make excuses. What we got going? We are not going to make it through 2019. Ronnie. Get your gold, silver, PM now. I'm a nurse, no chip. Print Fed did not raise rates, and so all nurses and doctors are chipped as we speak. It's true that real estate is going to fall. So that's a good question. So Luke is it true that real estate is going to fall to 2002 prices? Yeah. So in 2002, I'm not familiar with the housing market to go back that far because I was not in the housing market at that time. But I would imagine with the way things are looking now, I would imagine that there's definitely going to be some type of correction, because if you look at the price of everything that is not considered a financial instrument, such as a bond, even equities, I'm sorry, but housing and every other form of note or debt are all extremely inflated in value and price values. Whatever the housing market is now, I think it probably, I'm not sure what the official housing dip was in 08, 09 as far as the valuations of houses, but I would imagine it's going to be way 60, I would imagine 60, 70% a decrease in the house prices just on the good side, just because, yeah, like the fact that, a lot of houses are going up just based upon the fact that lending rates are still somewhat low in comparison to what they were years and years ago. So it's not a real genuine reason for houses prices to be going up as they have been going. Says, do you have yours? Are you going to answer the question? Do I have mine? Southern Comfort. I'm not sure if that question was for me or not. Let me know. Says, I don't want cryptocurrency, but they do what you know. Are you too embarrassed to say you're voluntary chipped or? Okay, we're talking about the chips here. Chris, as far as I know, housing markets are already falling 30% in some places. Australia, Canada too, Spirit. So 30%. And so if it's 30%, if they've decreased or dropped by 30% thus far, and, it's not really, I mean, we're in, it's definitely a slowdown. So I guess for a slowdown equates to 30%. Imagine what a crash would look like. Definitely double that right there, if not even more, which is scary. Foreclosures are up 12% in San Diego. Says, I was going to say 50% devaluation in housing. 50%, down on, I think more than 50%, just because I think, not many people actually own their houses. Overwhelming majority do not own their house outright. Therefore, once the economy slows officially or crashes or comes to a halt, whether it be because of credit, debt, you name it, there's going to be a large amount of layoffs, and layoffs will then equal defaults on mortgages. And so it's good to say a good portion of the American population that are paying a mortgage note might find themselves in a tight situation. And what will make it more realistic that might happen is the fact that if most people don't have enough saved up, like 3, 6, 9 months of expenditures to cover their mortgage, then it's good to say they're going to default on their loan and therefore have issues. And we all know that according to the statistics, the majority of Americans don't have $1,000 or something like that saved up. So if that is true, then there's no way that people are going to keep their house, knowing that most people probably got more house than they could afford in the first place, in my opinion. But as always, feel free to give me a call. Let me know your thoughts, 313-462-0027, and go from there. It says, we're in solar minimum. I understand we're in a solar minimum. I understand economies collapse during these cold snaps. Could you elaborate? Can gold save us in this situation? Maggie. As far as a solar minimum, I'm not exactly sure about that. Now, if the economy collapses, gold and silver won't really save you. It won't save us. I think it's more so just going to be a a vehicle or a mechanism that will preserve purchasing power that will then be useful down the line if we are shifting to a new currency or a new monetary system or whatever comes after the Federal Reserve note probably has issues. You'll probably be able to get back into the economy at a much favorable position, given if you're holding real money. If you choose to exchange your real money for debt instruments or whatever backed or whatever they may try to roll out, you'll probably be able to just not, probably either profit a little bit as far as your, returns on that metal, but it's not going to save us directly. Sorry for running Victoria Way. Chips can be used in Christians. It says, Mike, in the U.S. consumer debt, no mortgages hits 4 trillion. This will be worse than a crash. It will be a collapse. In the U.S. consumer debt with no mortgages hit 4 trillion. This will be worse than a crash. It will be a collapse. Okay, I'm trying to read that. U.S. consumer debt, no mortgages hits 4 trillion. So as far as hit 4 trillion in consumer debt, and are we talking about what exactly are you referring to? Spirit, let me know. I'm not reading that correctly, I don't think. It says 2020 all new homes in Cali will have solar panels. Is that by state ordinance or state law or something like that? Every house will, which I'm assuming is for energy's sake. I will buy homes for silver and Mike. I will buy homes for silver then. Yeah, and so I remember, I got a book over there that it talks about life during the crisis in Germany during the Weimar Republic era and how much purchasing power was absorbed into a single gold coin that left the holder of that coin in a much favorable position than having all those notes. And so that was in a different era, a different day and age. But if the same type of thing repeats itself, which it seems to do, because a typical response for a crisis is to monetize and to print more, which is something that we can expect as a tool that the Federal Reserve will look to utilize, then that lets you know you might have a lot of nominal value in your silver and gold that could probably purchase you a good portion of whatever it is you like. Now, the question would be how you go about exchanging an ounce of silver or gold for a house directly, given the fact that most people may not really own their house, so the banks may have some type of large hold on properties. So I'm not sure how they're going to unload their balance sheets of houses and at what amount. They're definitely not going to take a loss. So if the housing market crashes 60-70%, as we're talking about here, so say $100,000 house now is 25, 30,000. Will they be willing to accept 30,000, which could be a single ounce of gold, or if it's a 1-to-1 situation or something relative, if it's a 1-to-4 ratio, 1-to-9, 1-to-10 for silver, 20 coins, 30 coins or something like that. Will the bank willing to accept that, or will they want whatever that currency is, or their stable coin? It says, what is that? I love the Green New Deal, which destroyed the dollar, skyrocket silver. The Green New Deal. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't think it's going to get much play, but it could be a bill that could be sitting on the sidelines in case of a slowdown, to where that 93 trillion or the cost of it will definitely inject new stimulus into the economy. So, but we'll find out. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? This is Ronnie from New Mexico.
Ronnie, 1 second. Let me put you on speaker. I'm not sure why it doesn't go to speaker automatically. Give me 1 second. Let me get you on here. Yeah. Do that and do that. Hello?
Hey, Mike. Hey, this is my first time doing all this stuff, so
But I appreciate the call.
I'm trying to get used to this stuff. Yeah, so you're talking about the Green New Deal. I know that's being passed down here in New Mexico. I believe it's already in effect. I think they just passed that not too long ago. So by 2045, I believe, they are going to do away with any energy that has to do with fossil fuels, i.e. coal, natural gas, things like that. And they're going to go to like this, I guess, all new electric things, solar panels, wind generation.
Yeah.
But the real reason I'm really calling because, I've been doing this stuff for a very long time. And I really believe that we're going to be rolling over into this cryptocurrency type system. So I wasn't really into it before until I started seeing all the new developments. That includes, I'm a really big Litecoin follower. So I believe Litecoin has been doing some with WD Bank and things like that. So I'm still in old school stuff. I still do stuff with gold and silver. I believe in all hard precious metal assets. But as well, I believe people should, look into cryptocurrency. Now, it's not all that, I guess some people believe that, it came out of the middle of nowhere. It must be like some kind of conspiracy or whatever. But hard-coded, just looking at the code, it cannot be replicated, cannot be stolen, discharged. It cannot be sent back or anything like that. It's just like hard digital cash.
Yeah.
And I advocate for people to actually, branch out and look at different things while they have the opportunity, because, you can't just put everything in one bucket,
Right.
and think everything's going to go, diversify a little bit. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, hey, man, what's your name again?
Ronnie.
Ronnie. Well, Ronnie, man, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts. Definitely, I am a supporter of diversifying into alternative vehicles to preserve wealth. I definitely believe that the whole cryptocurrency is not by coincidence. It was designed for this time. And so the question would be, once we get through this hiccup, however that looks, whatever that looks like, then what will be the agenda when everybody, because everyone's not going to be prosperous and very wealthy as they think on the other end of this, I believe. And so the question is,
that's true.
After everything unravels and there's some type of calm in the storm, when the new legislation comes out, what will be the primary medium of exchange, which will have to be something government issued, or preferably not central bank issued, but it will be government issued. And I doubt they will give us the freedom of using, whatever coin we want to do business with, silver, gold, as well as whatever currency they're going to come up with, because the whole point is to have one single currency that's legal tender. And so that's why I'm like, it might be a vehicle to transfer some wealth in the meantime. In the end, you may not want to be stuck holding a bag of something that might be outlawed, made illegal, or disrupted by some new technologies or quantum computing or something like that. So those are all things I think about. But definitely, I do hear what you're saying, though.
Yes. Okay. And also, you hear anything about this? 2020. So I've been looking into 2020 stuff. I guess we have to have our driver's license updated by a certain time in 2020 to get the new facial recognition and things like that, and also 5G and all that stuff coming out around the same time. Yeah. I don't see this. Yeah. It's kind of strange that everything like that coincides on a specific date.
Right, and it's not by coincidence.
I'm just trying to see what people thought about it.
Right, so definitely we've talked about that a lot, man, and it's definitely not by coincidence that the year 2020 has been mentioned so much. It so happens to be presidential year. So we're in for a hell of a experience in the next 12 months. 12 to 24 months, I think, will be a game changer for everybody. In my opinion, I think everybody's future plans will be altered in some way, one form or another. So it could be good, it could be bad, but within 12 to 24 months, I think we're going to be definitely probably in a world we don't recognize, hopefully in a good sense. But hey, man, Ronnie, I appreciate you calling and sharing your thoughts, buddy. Appreciate your support.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Yep. Have a good one. Yeah, man. In 12 to 24 months, people, I think that we are going to be experiencing something where we're going to look back at this time and be like, man, I wish I would have got my weight up more. I wish I would have got this. Wish I would have did this. Wish I would have, did that. What do you guys think about that? Is that something that's realistic or no? Let me know. I'm curious to find out what you think. Says, I'm not going to get a driver's license. We don't need one in California. Yeah, I don't really, apart from being forced to get some type of updated version of a license, I'm not necessarily for all that. And it doesn't excite me whatsoever we're going to do what we're told to abide by the law, or there may come a time where we may have to say, hey, I'm not going to do it. And, I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. So that's some, that's some things we're gonna be confronted with. What do you guys think about that? It says you only need a driver's license if you're speeding, if you like to speed. Said Mike, is this potentially the Jubilee year? We dodged it back in 2009. What might happen if they default? Jesse James, Jubilee year. The washing away of all debt. Washing away. Yeah, I don't know about washing away just because, for every debt instrument issue, it's an asset on somebody else's end. And so someone is expecting to get some type of, reimbursement or yield off of that debt that's been issued. So everybody takes a loss in that type of thing if it's wiped away. So there's definitely going to be losers and there's going to be some winners. But as far as wiped away, I wouldn't be able to really say that's something that I would bank on or depend on or think would happen. I would imagine everything is going to be redenominated or restructured to fit into that next paradigm that will be introduced to us, or which is probably being introduced to us now in the form of cryptocurrency. So I don't foresee the debt being wiped away. It might be adjusted. And for example, your house mortgage, if your house drops to, 70, 80%, you're still going to owe the original loan amount or whatever the remaining balance is. And you may not be able to afford it, and they recognize that, but they'll give you some type of restructuring in accordance to that new issuance of currency. And so it's just going to be renominated in some type of new issuance of currency. So that's my thoughts on that. But it says, what might happen if a government defaults? If a government defaults, and that's just a matter of like how, because our government's defaulted before. When we're back on the gold standard, they defaulted by and I think it was 3 or 4 times they defaulted in reference to gold. 71 was the last official default. And I would be willing to say that the last debt default, in a sense, was the moment that quantitative easing was introduced. Because when the Federal Reserve basically introduced illegal monopoly style money printing out of nowhere to prop up the too big to fail banks, they initially told the world that we would do anything we need to keep this thing going, which technically can be considered default because when you have an institution that brings no true value into existence but is able to create something out of nothing and then flood the system with it, or to buy back fraudulent assets or debt instruments itself, to liquefy the current banks that caused the problem, they defaulted to the American public, in my opinion, because now they have a balance sheet that they won't be able to unwind. So what that Federal Reserve rate halt of interest rates tells me is that not only are they not going to increase or try to normalize rates back to what they were prior to the Great Recession, they won't be able to because expansion is a lie. Therefore, will they also be able to reduce their balance sheet at a rate that they think they are going to do at, I'm not sure whatever the amount was per month, but will they be able to do that continually, knowing that the economy has already come to a halt? It's obviously digressing, it's going backwards. Now, can they still withdraw liquidity out of the system to pump back houses and all those debts and let the debts, what you call them, whatever they call, I forgot the name of them, but there's going to be some issues with that. So long story short, we are heading for a SHIT storm because it's clear as day to me that this monetary experiment is coming to an end. When the Federal Reserve is doing what they're doing, the global economy is having its issues. Your last hope, in my opinion, is to get your weight up. Is to be as heavy as you can amongst all the other steps needed to preserve and to sustain yourself. You're going to need anything that you might need as far as food, water, shelter, clothing, whatever, man. Those are all things we cannot take for granted because right now we don't know how this is all going to go. Because eventually, I remember Bill Holter talks about, the moment the credit market freezes, it's all over. The logistics breaks down, grocery stores break down. Yeah. But keep it moving. I elaborate too much on that one. Spirit says, Mike, I have a couple job proposals that should come in soon. Should I move to the US? Spirit, to my knowledge, you're on the western tip of Europe. And so if that's the case, I don't know what the European environment is like. No, I do believe that European area will probably have some major hiccups first because it's one currency with multiple nations and everyone has their own issues. So I can see there are problems there. Whereas I think the Federal Reserve note will be the last currency standing. So there will be other issues around us because everyone's going to run to the dollar. So there will be a dollar spike soon, probably this sometime midsummer, if it's not whatever's happening now. So for the short term, it could be better to live in the U.S. outside of any other country because everyone's going to run to the dollar, which will make things here look more prosperous and, just overall better in terms of other national currencies. But in the long run, I wouldn't say you want to be here because we've been living high on the hog for 70, 80, 100 plus years. Our fall is going to be something like no other. Europe has had issues before. We haven't had issues like what's coming, in my opinion. It says get silver, Litecoin, OX, 0x, and BAT, and some ETC. All nice selections there, I believe. It says debt inflates away. Inflates away. Inflates away. It steals. It steals away. Steals purchasing power. Yes, it is. Okay, be here. Revalue your debt into the next whatever. Yeah, clearly. It's not going to be a wiping away. They're not going to give you a clean slate. Warren Buffett and friends, yes. Tony Dewey says, just did a diversified portfolio. Just get a diversified portfolio. Yeah, that's a good opinion there. These are all people's opinions, not a financial advice. I want to make sure I make that clear. We're just having some good back and forth conversation this evening. But once again, the phone line hasn't rung at all. 313-462. Well, actually, I did miss the call. 313-462-0027. Let me know what's on your mind tonight. And so let's keep it moving. I have no debt, but I'm a renter. Am I an alien? Bamboo. An alien. No, I mean, that's you don't have a mortgage debt, which means that you don't lose piece of property that a lot of people look at their home as an asset because of the equity. But yet, if once all that fades away, there'll be no equity. No equity means that you're stuck holding a bag of debt that you have to pay or whatever happens with that. But renters also have it rough because rent going to have to go up unless landlord owns the house and willing to give you and show you some mercy to let you stay there so that people don't come in and vandalize things. So depending on your situation, it could be favorable. And I want to acknowledge the super chat. I haven't got down to it yet, but I see it. Let me scroll down to the super chat because I'm way behind. We got Ada Yugoroso. Am I saying that correctly? Silver is suppressed 4-1 gold, $1,000 an ounce. Silver is suppressed 4-1 gold, $1,000 an ounce. Well, I want to thank you for that super chat there. I appreciate that. And suppressed is definitely a good word to describe how extremely undervalued silver and gold really is. And so definitely, if things were to correct, it will be very favorable for those that hold that metal. But mind you, all the chaos and everything around you, so it may not be as exciting as we're looking at it now. Like we see the real price of gold and silver, whatever that might be, as being something like, man, I can't wait till the price go up. But when the price go up, that means everything around you going down. That includes a lot of your family, friends that's going to have a lot of hard times because they may not be aware or proactive and preserving. So on one hand, it's going to look good to you to see nominal value of some coins or something you got stacked away. Like, man, I'm sitting on $1 million worth of coins. Right. But your family's, people around you ain't doing good and you won't be able to enjoy it, in my opinion, the same way as if we could now in so-called good times. It says, make sure to collect your BAT from Brave browser. You have a lot waiting. Ronnie. I gotta get up on that because I do use Brave. I'm a fan of it. Never really got into collecting the BAT that was part of the donation thing. So, but I'll get to that. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
From Texas. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's your name one more time?
Eric from Texas.
Eric from Texas. How you doing this evening? What's in your mind, buddy?
I'm good. I just wanted to add to what you guys were talking about earlier. I think his name was Ronnie who called in, and he briefly mentioned something about the transition of the ID system.
You're familiar with what I'm referring to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Well, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've heard, if you don't transition to that system, to the ID that the star on your license, you'll no longer be able to enter a government building or fly via TSA. So I just wanted to add that, so maybe your audience might also be interested in that information. So this is why it's a huge issue for me anyway. So I just wanted to mention that also, throw that in there, but I'll leave you to it.
Okay.
Take care.
So question for you real quick. So is that a fit? I mean, because I haven't looked into it in depth in that manner to make sure that that's whatever. But if it is the case, is that's official that by X amount of date you gotta have that or else type of thing, or what? Is it a federal?
Right.
Is it national, or is it state? Say that again.
Go ahead. I said, as far as I understand, October 2020, Mom went to register for a new license recently, and she mentioned it to me, and I was unaware that got by me. And this is an old regulation from, like, I don't know, don't give me the line, I don't remember specifically, like 2012, something like that they signed this into law. But yeah, the reason it's the deadline is now is because they gave all 50 states, this long to comply. So you can go online and Google it, or excuse me, I like to say DuckDuckGo it now because I don't even use Google as a search engine anymore. Yeah. But you can see which states are in compliance. A lot of them have held out as long as possible by submitting plan anymore or enter a government building. So you will no longer be able to access any government services without this quote-unquote real ID.
Okay.
So.
All right, man. That's real talk, man. I appreciate you for sharing that. Definitely. I got to do a better job of checking into that because that's tough, because that's very alarming, because I'm thinking like, so.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm also, with that real ID, I wonder, because I also heard something or read something about the passport situation, how that's going to change, or something to do with passports going to be something that's going to be brought up pretty soon as well. So, yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah. The more and more I hear this stuff, man, it makes me want to get up and get out of Dodge, man, for real.
Exactly.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in. All right, have a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. That's not very comforting, man, to realize that we're being, tracked and monitored and chipped and dipped. I think 2020 is an unraveling year. 100%. And so for those who might just be joining, I mentioned that within the next 12 to 24 months, we're going to probably be experiencing some things that we would have never or couldn't have never imagined on different fronts. Okay, so to give you some angles of what I'm thinking about socially, I foresee, like right now in France, they got the yellow vest movement. I see in this country, if there's some type of hiccup, restraints, or massive job loss coming from whatever, there's going to be people in the street. There's going to be a national protest on capital streets of all cities and capitals, you name it, which is going to be very problematic, because one thing that's different from everybody else that have rallies and protests, they're not as heavily armed as we are. We're the most heavily armed population on the planet. So people ain't going to go out to them crowds and not bring their heat with them. So it's going to be some knuckleheads out there that's going to cause problems on the streets. So that's just from a social aspect. Then we're going to have the banking sector is going to be brought into question, whether or not they're liquid enough, whether or not people are going to find out that perhaps they don't have all the funds that they thought they had. And so we see what happened with Wells Fargo a couple months ago when people went to go get their check, and all of a sudden the check wasn't there. So you get a couple million people don't get their check on Friday because of the bank fault. The bank people gonna go down to that bank and demand something. But once you get to that bank, you're gonna realize there ain't no paper in that bank. What else? We got I can go on and on with that. I'm gonna leave it alone because I'm sure I'm scaring somebody here. But it is what it is. Spirit King, I have to put on my places to live list. I get 2020 could really be a time to get out of here. Get out of here, yeah. And that's the thing, like, even when I had my last guest on, Joe Bowman from International Man, if you guys watched that video, I encourage you to watch it because it was good. But one of the last questions I asked him was, a lot of people, prior guests I've had on the show, mentioned about before stuff hits the fan, you got to get up and leave. You got to be diversified and have a getaway plan and stuff like that. And so I asked him, like, based upon 80 countries you've been to and this and that, are there any places on this planet where you can go that you won't necessarily be impacted directly or at a level that it might have here. And he's like, nah, it's basically there's nowhere you can go where there's not going to be some type of issue. And reason I would imagine that is because every country is under a debt-based model. Some countries have more debt than others. Some are sustainable, some are self-sustainable rather, but majority of everybody's in the same boat. We all heavily indebted with no hopes of getting out of it. So I would imagine that at the end of the day, going somewhere won't really guarantee any better chance of surviving and living decent or good than you would be staying home and dealing with it, because at least you're in your own environment. You know the land. You go somewhere else where you don't know the language or the land, you in trouble. What else? What video about it says Spirit, they have no other choice but UBI. Crypto Turcos. Yeah, man. We are a mix. It says Cardano is on my mind tonight. Shelly, fully decentralized, is up on us. 88 is 5 cents right now. Yeah, I remember Cardano went up to $1 during that little rally. That was a good day. Question, it says, Mike, do you think they can hold until 2020 election, or do you think Trump is the fall guy? Oh, good question. I would never underestimate what they referring to whatever name we want to give them, their ability, the higher ups, what the higher ups are capable of doing to keep this thing rolling, because not everything, but a good portion of everything we're about to face can probably be prolonged a little bit more just by papering over it the way they have. And so we're facing a debt issue because everyone has overly extended themselves and just heavily indebted to the point where now we're reaching a point where, based upon the article I did earlier, the main issue is a lack of profitability for a lot of corporations. They've already drunk the Kool-Aid as far as taking advantage of leveraging debt to buy back shares and stuff like that. So they've already propped up their stocks extremely high to make themselves look profitable and more worth investing in than they really are. So now it's time to pay the piper, which means paying that back. And so a lot of people, if they're not making money, then they have to make cuts. So anyway it go, there's going to be some problems. Now, central banks can then directly inject into the equities market and prop up stocks. Therefore, a lot of those companies that's having issues can then cash out all those. So here's a thought. So we always talk about like the Bank of Switzerland, Central Bank of Switzerland their central bank actually owns Apple, owns a lot of major Dow Jones and NASDAQ, S&P companies or whatever. They actually own it outright. So they own shares in equities. And so it's good to say the U.S. may also have, or the Central Bank of Federal Reserve may also be doing that, but it's on the hush. But they can come out this fall, and announce that they can make it's not legal according to my knowledge, but they could on the back end go in and prop up the markets directly, which could then liquidate some of those, provide liquidity for a lot of those corporations that's having problems paying back their debt. Because if the equities rise, so if whatever share is, just say a company X is $40 a share now, central banks inject a couple billion on the slide or directly through some new legislation, that 45 per share turns out to be 60, 70. That company could sell some of that and then take care of some of that debt, and it somewhat be considered legal, I believe. So there's going to be there's monetary tools that are in the toolkit that we haven't seen yet, because I'm more of the mindset that who would have ever thought of quantitative easing and then quantitative tightening? There can be quantitative, I don't know, give me a word. There could be quantitative something that quantitative basic and UBI, quantitative UBI, QUBI could be next, which would definitely prolong things a little longer. So yeah, America was never white and never will be. It says quantitative UBI, quantitative universal basic income. Mike, I suggest you check out Collapse 2009. It's on YouTube. Let me know about it on the next YouTube stream. Collapse 2009. Okay, I'll do that. I'll remember to do that. Those who run from the pit will be taken in the snare, to quote the Bible, in the snare. Yeah. Digibyte will be a currency one day. Currency of the day. I wouldn't doubt it. I personally will prefer some type of privacy coin. And so I would rather have people use a privacy coin than have one of those coins that can be tracked and monitored and all stuff like that. That's what it is. I look forward to 4 Digibyte too. Yeah, I like Digibyte as well. Listen, let me get caught up in the chat. So, anybody else got any more thoughts on their mind? Feel free to call in. About to get ready to wind down. We're approaching our 50-minute point. But once again, we're doing it from the phone because my computer, for whatever reason, I'm not sure if it's that what is it called, the software I use that I updated recently. Could be a reason. But I didn't have that problem till like last night. So 2 nights in a row is not normal. So tomorrow, definitely before I go live, I'll definitely do a little pre-check so I don't waste my time, because it might turn out that this type of back and forth might be worthwhile anyway. So I just like the presentation style of the other one. Looks a little bit more professional to me, but it is what it is. But anyway, people, it has been long enough. And so I got about 80 so people on here. And as always, I want to make my last little pitch. If you've enjoyed the back and forth, don't be afraid to contribute to the program, to donate a thumbs up. Just give me one thumbs up to show your support, to let me know that you're watching. If you've been watching, then obviously you haven't left us. So you obviously enjoy the chit chat or just hearing my thoughts or whatever, or our thoughts. It said, if you had to eat a zoo animal, what would you eat? A zoo animal. Well, if it came down to survival and I had a choice, I would probably go to the meatiest, the smallest yet meatiest thing out there, and just do what I got to do. I wouldn't want to have anything that's bigger than me that I have to have some type of tool or a gun to take it out. I'd rather be able to go catch it and just, do something like that. I've never done that, but push came to shove, I'm about it. Question is, who asked that question? Low blood pressure. What type of animal would you prefer? Faith, I appreciate the like button. Appreciate it. A crocodile. Got to catch it first. Please check out this crypto space while you have a chance. This is evolving so fast. Crypto space. Yep. Some XOB cash. I really like those projects. I got the one of the cry virus, Tony. A grass eater. Yeah, until your stomach gets all, that's a little bit too much fiber for you. But anyway, people, it's been great, man. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Definitely don't be afraid to subscribe, as well as give us some more thumbs up. I appreciate you guys' support and tuning in. Definitely we'll be back here tomorrow night. Also, when the spring hits, I plan on doing some things out in the streets and helping people get their weight up and encouraging them to get their weight up. So I will be looking for some ideas on what type of questions to ask people in the street, going back to the 8 mile that is, and try to put some gold in people's hands. So what I'm going to do, actually, what I'm looking forward to, and if you guys want to contribute, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the streets on the 8 mile, and I'm going to give away 0.1 gram notes. So I'm going to get a lot of these and go out there, ask people questions, and just tell people the importance of having something so small as 0.1 gram in their hands. So it's just something about being able to get gold nowadays at a much more affordable rate, to where there's no reason why everybody shouldn't have some. And I believe these could be used as a medium of exchange and as a barter vehicle as well. So definitely keep getting your weight up, people. Do what you do. Anyway, if you guys are interested in finding out more about Rethinking the Dollar and your new viewers, scroll down below, check out some of the free resources. And also, for those that are not on the RTD Gold Team, but you want to join the team or don't want to join the team, but you want the gold notes, I've actually put them up for sale on the RTD store. So if anybody want to look at purchasing these directly from me, go to rethinkingthedollar.com/store, and you can purchase these directly, and I'll send them to you. So other than that, hope all is well. Be safe, be blessed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Peace.